What's up, guys? Welcome back to another one. Today, we'll be looking at another interesting and creepy TikToks from around the world. Stay tuned. Hope you enjoy this one.
I've been saying it for 30 years, and people, when I tell them, their eyes just go dead. The owners of the world are the royals, kings, queens, dukes, duchesses, imams, popes, wizards that own every single dime on earth and bank at the Bank of International Settlements. That's the owners of the world who decide every war and arm both sides because they make money. They're arms dealers.
It takes a team of highly skilled engineers to land a fly on somebody's head. We typically get hired to land a fly on high-profile political candidates during live events that are being broadcast to a large audience. You might have seen our work in 2016 when we landed a fly right on Hillary Clinton's eyebrows, or more recently during the vice presidential debate when we landed a fly on Mike Pence's head and it sat there for about 2 minutes. The objective is usually to distract the viewer from what the candidate is saying, and more importantly distract the media from reporting about what the candidate is saying and focus more on the fly itself. And let's face it, nobody remembers what Mike Pence said during those 2 minutes our fly was sitting on his head. We design and engineer all of our models in-house. Our first prototype was used in 2009 to land on President Obama's face. Unfortunately, he was able to smack it down and completely destroy our prototype, which was unfortunate because it was really expensive. But we plan to debut our next generation of flies in the upcoming and final presidential debate. That particular model is able to drop a tiny little poop on the candidate's head. So we're really
Talk
excited
about advanced
I don't
technology.
understand how this isn't being talked about on every major news outlet right now. This is the biggest story in America. 796 DEAD babies were found hidden in a septic tank at a mother's home run by nuns. This is reported today, just 6 hours ago, by the New York Post.
Get a vaccine is to have an outbreak. And so that's it. Fear sells. Sadly, people are compelled much more by fear than reason.
Saying, you guys are all blaming China, you're blaming us, but it's really your own fault, and America now needs a revolution.
They rob you blind, and you thank them for it. That's a tragedy. That's a scam. That's why I'm saying this right now. Americans, you don't need a tariff. You need a revolution. For decades, your government and oligarchs ship your job to China. Not for diplomacy, not for peace, but to exploit cheap laborers. And in the process, they hollowed out your middle class, crushed your working class, and told you to be proud while they sold your future for profit. And yes, China made money, but we used it to build roads, lift millions out of poverty, fund healthcare, raise living standard. We reinvested in our people. My family also benefited from it. What did your oligarchs do? They bought yachts, private jets, mansions with golf course driveways. They manipulate the market, dodge tax, and poured billions into endless wars. And you get stagnated wages, crippling healthcare costs, cheap dopamine, debt, and flagged wave property made in China while they pick your pocket. For 40 years, both China and the United States benefit from the trade, the manufacturing, but only one of us use that wealth to build. This isn't China's fault. This is yours. You let this happen. You let the oligarchs fit your lies while they made you fat, poor, and addicted. Now they blame China for mess they made. I don't think so. I don't think you need another tariff. You need to wake up. You need to take your country back. I think you need a revolution.
Oh, he has a point.
That man is dropping
Let's see
gems.
how long it takes you to figure out what is going on here.
Ice cream? What?
For a fair part of this video, I thought they were making gelato, strawberry gelato. But no, good old-fashioned, highly processed, fake crab sticks. Lovely. Not for me.
World War
Wait, I thought they're making ice cream or some kind of popsicle or something, but it's completely the opposite. Would you eat that?
III, as the president has come out and said that we have bombed Iran. But it gets a lot weirder than that, and what you see behind me, the timing of this is just out of this world, if you ask me. I wish I could express to you guys just how bad this is going to get, but I can tell you that we're all screwed, but we all know that. But stay away from large gatherings in the United States because we know there are terror cells all over. Remember, the news was wanting us to believe there was as well not too long ago. I wonder why. So this actually gets pretty weird. So after he comes out and says they bombed Iran, he'll be doing a special message address to the US at 10. Everything from his Truth Social is gone. Do you not understand how weird that is? It almost seems like he's trying to delete his digital foot stamp from everywhere. Do you understand that? Do you remember how I mentioned he deleted all of his Truth Social posts? Look what was posted. You know, China came out and condemned those. You know, the country that starts with an I. Not to mention, earlier, this was the capital of Iran. Shut up. I had said earlier that I thought maybe the US was already involved right there. Also, in my video earlier, I told you guys that this weekend it would be going down from sources close to Trump. And they had already said before the bombing started that they would not stop enriching and this is going to be war. They're going to choose war. They also said that they will be attacking US forces in the Middle East if the US got involved. My goodness. Update y'all later.
The US may be going to war after all, huh? Everybody was laughing, ha ha, he, ha ha, a week ago. But then when Israel bombed Iran, everybody was like, that smile turned to a frown. Because when that happened, people already started assuming US might be involved. But people didn't know. But now, people know. Because Trump just put out some statements. And y'all tell me what the hell you think he meant by this. He goes, America first means many great things, including the fact that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. Make America great again. Then he said Iran should have signed the deal. I told them to sign. What a shame and what a waste of human life. Simply stated, Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. I said it over and over again. Everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. So the people in Tehran did exactly what Donald Trump said. They started evacuating, y'all. Look at this shit. Look at the line. It goes all the way around. This shit crazy, fool. Because they know some shit about to pop off. This is wild, fool. China also advised citizens to leave Israel as soon as possible, y'all. This is wild. He said all sides have informed their backers. World War III officially begins tonight. What?
Y'all need to watch this video because you guys need to understand this, y'all. These doctors are not for you, man. Check this out. This is an arm, okay? Now, you would think this is a tattoo, but this is not, y'all. This is a bruise. This is a bruise that looks like a lionfish is tattooed on the arm. This is a bruise from a pregnancy injection, y'all. Check this out. This birth control injection is alive, y'all, because it's blinking in her arm. Y'all see that? But why did it take on this shape, y'all? Look at this, y'all. But why did it take on this shape? It's like it imploded in there. Y'all see that?
I don't know what update, but I think it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, day 5. Look at the bruising around the steri strips. Wow. I don't know.
Who told us it was a good idea to put foreign substances in our body to stop something natural from occurring? Could it be the colonizers like Margaret Thatcher who wanted the indigenous people to stop procreating and creating babies who created these technological advances? And now look at this, y'all. It's backfiring. This is karma. You don't want children? Cool. Discipline, stillness, abstinence. But don't be injecting yourself with a foreign substance just to see how your body would react to it. We pushing nature away and nature is coming back with a vengeance, y'all. She is not happy. But let me know what you guys think about this video. Let's get this shit. Peace in. Wow.
Any of your women out there experience anything like that?
We were hooking up, but I said, hey, this is not going any farther. I'm a virgin and I don't want to lose it this way. And that didn't matter to them. They did it anyways. And I internalized it and I told myself it was my fault because I still went in the room with him. I still hooked up with him. Here was the thing. I was a part of that Disney crowd that publicly said they were waiting till marriage. I didn't have the romantic, first time with anybody. That was not it for me, and that sucked. And then I had to see this person all.
First thing I want to say is how many other young entertainers probably share a similar story that are too scared to speak out in fear of sabotaging the career. You know, these preds purposely step into these types of fields where there's an adult figure that's in charge of a young child that's not the parents. And then what they do, they use manipulative techniques that they disguise as nurturing and, you know, trying to bring forward the person's career. The sooner people realise this isn't some conspiracy, this is what really goes on.
Alright, man, so they lied to us, right? About a lot. We all know that. But the craziest lie that I just recently found out is that countries is thousands and thousands miles away. Whole time is not. Travelers, the next time that y'all in a plane traveling somewhere, look out the window. Look out the window and tell me, do you think where you going is 1,000, even 1,000, or even 70, 80 miles away? Wherever you going, you will be the details and how really far everything is away from each other. Let's just say, I live in Philadelphia, right? Let's just say, they say from Philly to Chicago, we gotta travel, what, 73 miles, 84 miles. Whole time is only 40 miles, probably less than that.
Work you have to go through in order to just make it so that this pisses me off. I just really think people need to see this. Imagine how much work you have to go through. Look at that. You just gotta see the work. You know, I want the engineers and all the people in America and everybody around the world to be able to look at that. Look at that. Look at how this is welded here. Look at the thickness of this and the perfection. Look at the amount of energy that they put into making sure that this right here didn't hit the side of this bell. You have to understand, this is not a conspiracy, this is real life. They took our bells away and silenced. This bell is sterilized. It's neutered.
Before you decide to have a baby and want to come up with a name, you might want to look at this list because they just banned certain names you can't have in the U.S. These are the baby names that are now illegal in the U.S., as you can see. I don't know who would want to name their baby that, but okay. Even that. And what the fuck is that? Now, the first two names on the list, King and Queen, why can't I name my son a king, or why can't I name my daughter Queen? Am I missing something? So according to the courts, they said those names are too powerful, are too religious, or just a title rather than a name. But that's my child. I should be able to name my child whatever I want to name my child, right or wrong. I feel like them trying to ban names is just the beginning. Trying to tell people what they can and cannot do. Like, they trying to take away all the power. Just starting with the names, y'all. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this down below in the comments.
Now give my child my name anything I want to.
Why do you think everyone seems different now? Watch this.
I don't know what's going on, but everybody keeps saying they don't know what's going on. Like, for real, I go outside and want to come right back in the house, bro. Then I come in the house and be like, dang, I need to be outside living my life, y'all.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just in the house. Then I get back out the house, get in the car, drive somewhere to do something, and just be like, what's wrong with everybody? Looking at everybody like everybody off. I'm like, they could be looking at me the same way. I be in the grocery store like, hey, everybody weird. I got to go back to the crib. Don't know where time been going. 2018, we was living a life. I don't know what happened, bro. Like, I don't got time to do nothing but go to work, come home, and go to sleep. Then ain't got time to sleep. How you don't got time to go to sleep? I get up in the morning, I'm like, dang, I ain't do nothing but go to work. I remember days I can have a whole day to myself and just live,
The energy has
Call
shifted,
everybody up,
y'all.
we chilling, we vibing, we out there. Well, now I go to the crib, sit in the dark, and just don't want to be bothered. Like, I know I'm not the only one, yo. Don't want to eat nothing, don't want to cook nothing. Then when I do eat, I be so full off of nothing. I'm like, yo, what is going on? Like, I'm so full off of 5-6 cheese sticks, man, that I done warmed up in the air fryer. Then I'm trying to cut on Netflix, look at the TV. I'm like, man, everything fake. But I want to look at the TV for when everything fake. Before I even cut it on, I'm like, I'm about to cut on this and watch all this fake stuff. Like, somebody tell me in the comments what's going on.
I think this man just kind of described how a lot of us have been feeling. It could be that there was an energy shift after 2020. Or maybe the elites are pulling some sort of mass MK Ultra on all of us. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, thank you for watching. Stay weird.
I can kind of relate to that. I had the same feeling.
I have never been near a puff party. Never been near.
Liar.
And anybody who knows me knows if there is a party, I'm the first one out.
Right.
I'm the first one out.
I stopped by Puffy's house for 30 minutes to say happy birthday to him during the day at 2 o'clock with staff people. And out of that came a love affair and all kinds of stuff that I have never seen.
You too?
Yes. Yes. Now I'm almost 70 years old. What do I look like?
For some other reason, I don't believe that. I think they're just putting up that show to keep their end clean. But wasn't there photos out of Oprah Winfrey? I mean, come on. You're telling me that was fake? Maybe it is. I don't know.
Hey, yo, they running into their bunkers right now as we speak, bro. They buying time, covering up the sky. Y'all see that red sun that's in the sky? Y'all see that red sun? That's not no red sun. That's a planet. And that planet is here for us. That planet here for us, man. Any news broadcast, anything you see far as like politics, government, that been recorded a long time ago. Them people are in their bunkers, bro. I'm telling you. And yeah, they got clones out here. You heard me right? They got clones out here acting as them. Just in case they gotta make an appearance somewhere, that clone gonna be there. 100% sure. But yeah, bro, it's over with. It's already written. It's over. The time is right now, bro. The time is now. Get ready.
This is why you don't fuck around on the dark web, y'all. So this guy bought boots off the dark web, and then he been doing videos on it. And it turns out now that it was a tracking device at the bottom of the boots.
Kind of interrupt you. I got a match I'm packing for. But for those of you that don't know, I bought some shoes off the dark web, and last night I figured out that the heel on one of them was hollow, and it had this in it. Here's what I know. That chip is called an A9G. There's a GPS, and that is a cellular antenna. It also, importantly, has a SIM card. I searched the other boot and the inside of the VHS. I also searched all through the box and the bubble wrap. And the lights that were blinking on the chip when I opened it up mean that it was connected to cellular and had a GPS signal. But it stopped blinking like 5 minutes after I made the video, and I haven't seen it blink since.
So when this man was on the dark web, he decided he wanted to surf a website that sold sketchy clothes and shoes and shit. Like, they were covered in blood, y'all. Anyway, he went on and bought the boots that were covered in blood. He didn't think it was real until that junk shipped. He didn't ship it to his house. He shipped it to a P.O. box. He went to go pick it up, came to the house, he unboxed the junk, and it was covered in what it appears to be blood. And then later on, he bought some shit to find out if it was really blood, and indeed it was blood. And also in the box, it was a VHS tape. So he played the joint. It was just some creepy shit on it, y'all. If you want to check out his other videos, you can go find them on IG right here. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Go check it out. Watch the first video when he first bought the boots up until now. This shit crazy.
This is the weekend it all goes down, and yes, this is WW3. This comes from Bannon, who just met with the president yesterday. A massive attack was just launched in Iran. Shut up. And they just came out and said if any US strike happens, that everybody is going down. The craziest part about all of this is they said first, if it comes down to war or quitting enriching, we're going to war definitely, that they're not going to stop enriching. And second, they said that if we're giving aid to their enemy, that we are part of this. And read this right here to see what these people have been working on. Have you read it?
But there's others, I'm just reporting what I'm hearing from pretty good sources. The party is on. So, another big weekend in this unfolding aspect of the Third World War. And no, anyone that's telling you that the Third World War is not here is absolutely does not understand.
And as 3 major military compounds have just been hit in Iran, they also came out and said it'd be much easier to hit us in the Middle East. And this all happens while Trump comes back from his vacation and the B-2 bomber is getting in place. And of course, you know, they've been getting seafood and steak all across America, all different military bases. And by the way, the Army's birthday was last week, not this week, and this was 2 days ago. Very odd timing. Before I show you the craziest part, now we have Tulsi Gabbard coming out saying that they are within weeks after saying they weren't. Pretty odd. At the same time as that, we also have them coming out saying they know that we have been involved with the US since the very beginning. Maybe Ted Cruz's fraudulent slip. But by far, the craziest part is what she said right here, which did not get nearly enough attention. Now listen closely to what she says.
We are in deep shit. When I say that we are in deep shit, we are in deep shit. You see these 4 right here? These are CEOs, COOs from Palantir, Meta, and OpenAI, multi-billionaires who are being sworn into our U.S. Army reserves as lieutenant colonels.
So it's definitely happening. And don't forget, we can't see anything that's happening in the other country that starts with an I. And Iran has literally been in a blackout for days. Y'all better get ready, and I'll go ahead and say, I will not be drafted.
Tell me why have they been sewn in? What role do they play?
This is crazy. A former Bush official claims that the United States spent $21 trillion building a secret underground city. Her name is Catherine Austin Fitts, and she formerly served as Bush's Assistant Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. He says that the United States government built this in secret in case of a near extinction event for the rich and powerful. She claims that this isn't just some underground tunnel, but that this is a massive underground city across the United States with over 170 bases. She even says some are under the ocean and that they are all connected with transportation. She started researching this in 2020 and says that on her website, missingmoney.com, you can go and look at the actual government financials and make a decision whether or not this is true for yourself. Now, there have been theories about this for decades. So are we finally getting the proof? As always, let me know what you think about all of this.
Guess we'll never be invited because we don't have enough money.
All right. I'm going to fuck y'all up with some shit on this one. All right. This is the Urbano Monte map from 1587. Excuse me. North Pole. No ice. No ice around any of these areas, okay? There's North America, South America, Africa, India, Russia, China. Okay, so very similar to this map. North America, South America, Africa, India, China, Russia. Okay? Only thing different, Australia. There is no Australia here because it hasn't been discovered yet. This is 1587. Australia wasn't discovered until 1606. So that's why that's not there. But my main question is, if this is a globe flattened out and this is on the bottom, right? What the fuck is this? There's no ice on it. And guess what? Antarctica hadn't been discovered yet. Antarctica was discovered in 1820. And if you look, oh look, there's an alligator. Here's the camel. Warm weather animals. So, you want to explain to me, first thing, what the hell is this? All this land. And second thing, what froze them? What happened between 1587 and 1892 where those areas got frozen?
Leonardo DiCaprio has disappeared without a trace, and now we know why he left America right after Diddy's trial started. We all know Leonardo DiCaprio. He was always everywhere, present at all the biggest public events, but for the past few months, we haven't seen him at all. He no longer does interviews, no public appearances. He's almost impossible to find. But why? In reality, his past is resurfacing, and he doesn't want us to find out. Since the Diddy case broke, some showbiz personalities have completely disappeared from the scene. DiCaprio is one of them. Several sources even say he left the United States and is now hiding somewhere between Southern Europe and private islands. This is no coincidence. DiCaprio was extremely close to Diddy. He was even one of Diddy's favorite guests. And now that we are finding out what really happened at those parties, everything changes. Internal documents are starting to leak, but it is mainly the list of regular participants at Diddy's events that is circulating. DiCaprio's name appears on it several times. Leonardo is currently gambling with his entire career, and no one realizes it. This is not just an actor taking a break. This is a man who is hiding, a man who knows that something could come out. And if what we suspect is true, then this story is much darker than we think.
The first time we went to go get a U-Haul, there's a U-Haul sitting in front of a shit ton of other U-Hauls. Someone, don't know who, but this is the conversation that I have with U-Haul Storage here in Apple Valley. Someone sniffed the gas tank on the truck. How'd they know it was ours?
It's like gang stalking, gas.
How the fuck did they know it was ours? To get under a U-Haul, if you're trying to sabotage U-Haul, snip them all, right? But to snip the one truck that was sitting in the middle of the parking lot that was reserved for us, the gas is pouring out the bottom. We barely got 4 miles away from the U-Haul storage before it shut down completely, started sputtering, and that blew. Missed us again. You know what? I'm laughing because, woo!
Man, it seems like she has some kind of mental issue.
After I was 8 years old, I never used a Q-tip in my ears. I have not brushed my teeth since I was 8 years old. Oh yeah, I'm 62 years old and I got every one of them, never had a cavity, and I've never had any problems with them. Go figure that one out.
8 years old?
No, I just do hydrogen peroxide.
You gotta start with that. You can't just say
No, the reason why, go on a YouTube video and watch if you put Crest on a toothbrush, okay? Take that same toothbrush on a rusted chrome bumper and watch it just take all the rust right off the bumper. Now that's the same thing that you're cleaning your teeth with. What you're doing is you're withdrawing the enamel. In other words, you're taking the enamel, the protection off your teeth when you brush. Why? Why? What did Moses use soap when he was? Did Jesus? Did any of them? They lived 400. Moses lived 400 years. He did something right.
But at least do something, man. What's the smell like?
Beatles have a dark secret they've been hiding this whole time.
Watch this, y'all.
Died in 1966, and they replaced him. The conspiracy goes that
this sounds crazy.
In November 9th, while leaving Abbey Road, the place where their studio used to
And
be.
they covered it up
famous
for all these
just on the
years.
rise to success that they were making too much, and they didn't want things to stop. So supposedly they covered it up and held like audition.
They actually did this.
The winner took his spot. Now these are the details I find pretty convincing. The original Paul had a different facial structure from the new one.
Listen.
The original one had a shorter chin, darker eyes, and a smaller nose. The newer fake Paul lookalike has a long
That's not the same person.
face and colored eyes. Also, Paul and Ringo used to be around the same height, but that all changed right after 1966. Suspicious. One fan
You got a
noticed
lot
that
taller.
they were leaving hidden secret messages in their music, like in their song called "I'm the Walrus." Walrus means corpse.
Yep.
A couple years later, after that song, they released another song, and in that song, I kid you not, it says, "Well, here's another clue for all of you. The Walrus was."
So they admit it.
It's like your mama's booty. Things even
They flat out told everybody.
Album cover. If you hold up a mirror in the center of the there is a number 1 with the word 1 next to it.
Yep.
Then numeral for 9. And then the words he died all together spelling.
They've been telling us this whole time. Stay weird.
Interesting stuff. I saw the story before and it's kind of interesting, and which I believe is a true story. He did die. But hey, thank you so much for tuning in. I've got another one dropping very soon. Hope you guys enjoy it. Peace out.